Well, you may not know, human trafficking is now the fastest growing criminal industry in the country, generating an estimated $32 billion a year.
Thousands of women and children are being forced into prostitution. Now officials in Mobile and Baldwin counties are using a new task force to stop human trafficking. How that task force works in tonight's reality check.
I-10 is a known corridor for trafficking illegal drugs. It's easy access from Texas to Florida.
Interstate 10 has now caught the attention of federal agents for another illegal activity, human trafficking.
It's hidden in plain sight as modern-day slavery.
Scherry Douglas is Assistant Special Agent with Homeland Security. For the past few years, she has been trained to spot human trafficking, and she's seen it at its worst.
They're taken out into remote areas on cardboard boxes, and they may have 10 folks lined up to have sex with them.
The faces of those who are being trafficked have changed in the past decade. It's no longer an international problem.
The majority of sex trafficking victims are American citizens. After the attack on the Twin Towers, it became much more difficult to bring ladies in from other countries. And it became so much easier to just recruit from within.
Donna Armstrong is Executive Director of Hope Haven. It's one of only 2 shelters for victims of human trafficking in Alabama, and the only one here in South Alabama. Because this is such a huge problem and the threat to women who escape is so real, we can't show the shelter or its occupants. In the few short months Hope Haven has been open, Donna has heard the horror stories. She told us of one woman who had been trafficked since she was in her early teens.
Her life has been being sold from one man to another, who then turns around and rents her body out for other men to do whatever they want to her.
So how do children and women become victims to trafficking? Law enforcement officials say many times a lot of them are victimized at home first. Then they end up in the streets or on park benches where someone offers to help and then tricks them.
Girls looking for love, girls upset with parents, girls just where they shouldn't be at the wrong time, and some are just taken. The average age of entry into sex trafficking is 13.
It's happening in the shadows. It's very difficult to identify the victims because usually they're a very vulnerable community.
U.S. Attorney Kenyen Brown, along with Homeland Security and other federal, state, and local agencies, have teamed up to create a human trafficking task force and make the community more aware of this growing criminal activity. Along with training, these agencies are launching a full media campaign next month to draw attention to trafficking.
It became more real to us that this is actually going on in our community, and it's something that we need to be looking for in law enforcement.
Human trafficking is really human slavery.
Groups are also being formed, people traveling across the country to try to fight this criminal activity that brings in almost as much money as illegal drugs and firearms.
They can sell drugs one time, and then it's gone, it's used up. But they can sell or rent that girl multiple times every day, 24/7.
Anywhere from like 14,000 to 17,000 people are trafficked in the United States each year.
Well, the penalties for human trafficking are getting tougher. A person can now get 10 years to life, depending on the severity. The number of young boys who are also being trafficked is now increasing, as well as labor trafficking.